Knives Out is written and directed by Rian Johnson, who also directed Looper and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
And this movie started a lot of people, and I don't think we're gonna do that little thing where we start showing pictures of the people. We're just gonna put up the cover and like just point at the people maybe. And so, first off, I want to say this: I didn't like The Last Jedi. I liked it when don't go back to our review and look at it, because on that review I gave it a much higher grade than I'm gonna give it today. I didn't like that movie, but after seeing that movie, I think people, and I mean understandably, completely bashed Rian Johnson as a director hardcore. Mm-hmm. Whenever I think most people who saw The Last Jedi, I feel like that's all they knew him from.
Right.
But if you've seen other movies like his, which I'm not gonna act like I've seen a lot of his movies, but if you've seen movies like Looper, you'll realize he actually knows what he's doing behind the camera. And Star Wars: The Last Jedi, I think, was just too big of a scale, and it had too many. It had years of fandom behind it, mm-hmm. and it's hard to direct something like that whenever he's used to kind of these smaller scale movies.
Yeah, and I feel like he tried to do too many changes. Yeah. That it became too much.
Yeah, and I think he started seeing like people not liking the comparisons between the Force Awakens, like A New Hope, mm-hmm. and so he might have just wanted to do something completely different. I'm not completely justifying what he did, because like I said, I hated it too. So, but this movie really does show that Rian Johnson really is a really good director. I want to say that, because this movie, I loved it. I love this movie, and I know it's we're putting up 2 late reviews here, but this movie is just, it was so well directed, and it does things. And it's a brand new kind of like a murder mystery, because we haven't had one of these in a long time, since was it
Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah, which that movie was like ago. That movie was like so, But this movie right here, I think what it is that Rian Johnson really knows that these movies have been done in a long time, and when they are done, they're always done a really kind of too, what is that?
Cliche.
Like I said, touche, like a cliche kind of way. And what's really cool is this movie completely just flips that over, and just makes a different type of kind of whodunit movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything, but it really throws you off guard. Some of the choices that are made in this movie, and like you start to wonder like where this movie could be heading, mm-hmm. and even then there's so many different twists and turns even after that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like it's a movie that really keeps you guessing. Mm-hmm. I know that's a really common saying, but this movie really does have you doing that.
Yeah, and like it really, like the midway through the movie, there's a huge decision they made, a major decision that like, and you're watching like, what are they gonna do? Like I honestly sat there like, come on, like what are they gonna do after this?
Right, yeah.
But they actually continuously make a movie, and you start thinking throughout it that they're gonna go some other way. I didn't want it to go, but then it just goes. It's just a crazy movie. Just everything happens that you don't expect to happen. And then after that happens, you expect something else to happen, but that doesn't happen either, and it just creates a really well done movie.
Yeah, and in this movie, it really starts like even from the get go, it starts like things go into motion pretty quickly. Mm. Like there's like the first like 15-20 minutes, I'm like, wait, hold on, slow down.
Yeah.
But eventually, I was able to like start putting together the names and all that, and all the stories of what happened the night of the murder. Mm. So it does at the beginning feel like it's going really fast, but it does allow you to be able to breathe and understand what's going on pretty well.
I also want to bring up the acting in this movie. First of all, Ana de Armas, she's actually phenomenal in this movie. I've seen her in a few other things before. But nothing I fully remember her, like her great acting from. I've seen her like Hands of Stone.
Yeah. She's in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, Blade Runner 2049. And so I realized that she was a good actress, but like her acting in this movie is actually really well done. Mm-hmm. She plays this kind of quiet kind of girl, really nice girl, but she's kind of troubled by something. Yeah. And she plays that off really well.
Yeah. They had her make some really weird faces in the trailer. Just a few, but one especially was really weird.
I want to bring up Chris Evans, because Chris Evans, a lot of people know him from obviously the Avengers movies, Captain America, But he does really well in this movie too.
Yeah, it's really weird to see him go back to the kind of roles he used to play before he was Captain America. Yeah. It's just really weird to see him in that kind of role again.
Yeah, kind of like a kind of douchey character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the hothead guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to bring up Daniel Craig, which is before seeing this movie, is one of the things that scared me the most. Not necessarily his acting in general, but like just the voice he chose. You know? Yeah. I was like, what's it gonna do? But when you watch this movie, you realize that it's kind of trying to go over the top with the whodunit kind of concept, you know, and not too much. And so whenever you have Daniel Craig have this extreme Southern drawl, like a really strong one, and like for a second you're like, do I like it? And then you're like, you know what? I love it. Like, it's great. It actually works perfectly because it's not so Southern. It's not so like a Southern drawl. It's so bad, you know, and so ridiculous. It's just to the point of like right at being over the top to where it's like perfect. Yeah,
and my sister Brittany saw this one tweet where somebody was said that this movie, Parasite, and Ready or Not are 3 movies from this year that are just a big middle finger to the rich class. And I also want to say I don't really know how to explain too much of this without going to spoilers, but I do kind of love the kind of message that they kind of had woven into the story.
I would recommend this. I mean, obviously, but like, pay attention. But what I love about it is that they do it in a way to where you almost didn't need to pay extremely close attention, because when they bring things up later on, you almost just kind of remember.
You're like, oh yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
yeah, but you're not like
there's little details that they have throughout the movie, and then they all like pretty much come together at the end of the movie.
But it's not like details that are like kind of like thrown at you. It's just details that are kind of said here and there, you know. Right. And you don't really realize you're paying attention to it until later on, and it's really cool. Also, what I love is that there's something that happens. There's something that's brought up in this movie, and then it's brought up again later on in the movie. And I really, like, whenever I thought about it, I was like, how are they going to explain this? You know? And they just brought up some of those genius ways to explain things and how they happen.
Exactly.
Well, guys, overall, this movie was really good. I highly recommend it. It's one of the best whodunit, whatever you want to call it, whodunit murder mystery movies in years, in a long time. It's really well done, and it really knows how to get that concept of murder mystery and not do what's been done over and over again.
And just a little fun side note, it doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, but Michael Shannon is in this movie, and almost the entire movie, he sounded almost exactly like Bill Hader to me. I don't know why. He never usually sounds like Bill Hader to me, but in this movie he did.
Well, also, one thing that's funny, there's one scene where he says something like, go to bed or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And that scene, just that one line, I could have sworn it was Will Ferrell. And I was like, man, Will Ferrell's in this? For like a second. Like, I was like, is that Will Ferrell? But it's not. It wasn't Will Ferrell. It was Michael Shannon. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite movies of the year. This year is going to be really hard to choose what my top movies from this year was. Exactly. Because there's been so many great movies this year, especially on the second half of this year. But just this movie was just such a great murder mystery that really flipped the genre kind of on its head and really did something really unique with it.
We are going to say that Knives Out is 90% awesome. Well, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment and let us know what you thought about Knives Out. Also, let us know in the comments below what your favorite whodunit murder mystery movie is.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at To Us the Men.
And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see us later.